Hello, my dear friends of CBSE Class 10. My name is TS Sudhir and I hope all of you are doing well. Welcome to Study with Sudhir. In this video, we are going to take a look at the part 2 of the chapter called Gender, Religion and Caste. This is an extremely important chapter. We've already done gender. I hope you have had a look at that video. In this video, we will be looking at religion in politics, and in the third part we will look at caste. The reason why I'm doing it in three separate videos is that these three are three distinct entities, elements which play an important role as far as politics in India is concerned. So it's important for you to understand this in great detail, not just from the point of view of the syllabus and the board examination, but also from the point of view of understanding Indian politics in general, so that when you become adults, you are more well-informed citizens. You don't just believe whatever is forwarded to you on your WhatsApp group. Okay. Now, when we talk about religion, when we talk about communalism, and I'll explain these terms in great detail, what exactly does come to your mind? Of course, the two major communities in India, of course, is the Hindu community, which is 80% of India's population, and 13 odd percent is the Muslim population. So you have the image of the sadhus, and then you have the image of the devout in the Islam religion also praying. So that is as far as religion is concerned. You also have a little less than 3% Christian population, Sikh population, mainly in Punjab. Then you have other populations, religions like the Jain, people who follow Jainism, Buddhism, etc., Parsis, etc. Okay, but largely it is Hindu Muslim. And why we are focusing on that? Because these two religions have been at the forefront. There have been clashes, there has been communal tension, there has been communal violence, communal riots, all involving the Hindu and the Muslim communities in different parts of India. That's, let's say, the ugly part of our country, a country where we should all be living together peacefully, happily, right? Now, when you talk about religion in politics, the basic point is that religion is used, unfortunately, to create division based on religious differences. I am a Hindu, you are a Muslim, so I should be, my relationship with you should be one of opposition, not one of friendship, which is extremely sad, very, very unfortunate. Okay, there can be differences even within people from the same religion. For example, there could be one Hindu A, who may be terribly opposed to people from another religion. He may be hating another religion. There may be another Hindu who may be loving people from the other religion. He may be thinking, I have friends from that community, from the Sikh community, from the Muslim community, from the Christian community. I don't have any issues. Why should I hate them? They are individual. They are human beings. These religious labels are something which have been given to them on earth in our country, right? So why should I hate them? You know, they have a blood group, I have a blood group. What's really the difference? Like that famous dialogue from a film involving Nana Patekar, right? So there would be those kind of people. So within the same community also, there could be a difference in temperament, a difference in approach. Religious differences often get expressed in the field of politics. And that is something which we are seeing increasingly now, where there is an assertion of your identity, the Hindu identity, the Muslim identity, the Christian identity, the Sikh identity, that my identity is based on the religion that I practice, the faith that I adhere to at home, right? So people are extremely sensitive and touchy, and I'm going to be very frank and forthright about it, because you as 15-year-olds also need to understand a lot of these facts, right? Mahatma Gandhi said something very important. He said that religion can never be separated from politics. Now, did he mean to say that there should be religion in politics? Would he have approved of what is happening in India today? No, he was not talking about a particular religion. He was talking about the fact that politics, see, because when you talk about religion, what does any religion say? That there should be peace, we should love another citizen, Christianity says love thy neighbor, right? Hinduism speaks about tolerance, right? So there should be that case of, that you love every other human being, irrespective of his caste, creed, religion, faith, anything, right? So the same kind of goodness, the spirit of goodness, positivity should guide any kind of politics. So he meant that, Mahatma Gandhi meant that politics must be guided by the same moral values, what you studied in moral science in younger classes. Uh, Moral values and ethics, the right kind of value systems that are drawn from any religion, be it Hinduism or Islam or Christianity. Any religion that tells you the good things, they should be put to use when you are practicing politics also. Okay, I hope it is clear till now. Human rights groups, however, say, who are human rights groups? People who talk about civil liberties, that my human rights has been violated, I should have this fundamental right, but the state or any other individual or a group has come and violated. So people who talk about the rights of human beings are human rights groups. What do they say? They say that most victims in communal rights is when I and my neighbor and I fight, that's not a communal right. But when a group of a particular religion fights with group of another religion, that's what is called a communal right, right? And there have been many communal rights which have taken place in post-independence India. So the human rights groups have always maintained that most of the victims of communal rights are members of the minority community. That those who are in a numerical minority, जिनके लोग कम हैं उस इलाके में, in that area, if the numbers of that community, that religion are less, they are the ones who end up bearing the brunt. They are the ones who get targeted because they are not numerically superior or strong enough to combat the onslaught of the majority community, because they have numerical superiority, right? And the police many a times turns a blind eye, especially if it is a police force which is also having a communal mindset. That's unfortunately one of the realities of India, that police forces in many states also suffer, or at least individual policemen also have a bit of a communal mindset, because all said and done, they all come from the society that we live in. So human rights groups have always maintained that government, any government, central, state, in any state, should protect the minorities. That is one of the dharma of any government. Okay, now the other aspect, important aspect that you need to bear in mind is the position of women within a religious community. And it can be any religion, right? The belief is that all religions discriminate, as we saw in the chapter part dealing with gender, right? We did that pretty much in a religion neutral way, right? So all religions, and that's because all religions discriminate against women by and large, right? Some more, some less. So women's organizations have always demanded that there should be laws to make women equal to men, right? The religious books should not be quoted to make the woman a second-hand citizen as compared to man. So this ends up, when women make these kind of demands, when women groups or human rights groups make this kind of demand, what does it do? It establishes a connection between religion and politics. How, you may ask? Because who comes to power as a result of politics? The politicians. So when people say that in this religion, women are discriminated against, it immediately brings the politicians and the politics into religion. It establishes a connect. I hope you understand. Political power. For example, there was this whole thing about triple talaq, right? Whether triple talaq should be continued or not, right? There have been demands to kind of make changes to the whole thing of wearing the hijab in the Islam religion by Muslim girls. People say that it is freedom of choice, that I wish to wear a hijab. What is your problem? So there have been kind of arguments and debates being conducted on different kinds of issues. Political power should ideally be used to regulate the practice of religion to prevent discrimination and oppression. कि किसी भी तरह से औरत के ऊपर अत्याचार नहीं होना चाहिए. There should not be any discrimination or force or oppression on women under any religion, right? So that is again something very important. In your NCRT book, they have spoken about family laws. Now, what are family laws? Those laws which specifically deal with family related matters: marriage, divorce, adoption, inheritance, the wills, etc. So different family laws apply to followers of different religion. So there is a Muslim personal law, okay, that determines the what kind of personal laws should people in the Muslim Islam religion follow, right? And there have been kind of demands that, different. So whether that's good enough for the women or not. Similarly, under Hinduism, is it good enough for the women, how they are treated? So the politics of any country, especially India that we are talking about, should be used to make the position of the women safe, secure, and independent. Okay. What are the problem areas? There would be problem areas. Problem areas which lead to any kind of communal tension happens when beliefs of one religion are presented as superior to other religion. I belong to religion A. You belong to religion B. People of my religion say that my religion is superior to yours, right? Or you say that your religion is superior to mine. How would I feel, or how would you feel? You would feel angry, you would feel insulted, you would feel humiliated. Or I say something about your God, or you say something bad about my God. How would each one of us feel? We would feel offended. That kind of a rhetoric, that kind of a talk is used to inflame communal passions, to pit you and me against each other. We may be neighbors. We may well be neighbors. In fact, it has happened in many cities and states extremely tragically that people who come and attack someone else is usually the neighbor. जिससे आपने दूध खरीदा हो, जिससे आपने कपड़े सिलवाए हो, जिससे आपने न्यूज़पेपर खरीदा हो, they come and become your attackers during a communal riot. And that's because they have been brainwashed. They have been brainwashed to believe that he is insulting your God. He is insulting your religion. Number two, problem area, when state power means the state machinery, is used to establish domination of one religious group. Okay, that's again something very unfortunate that happens when state power is used, in the sense that the police force or the state machinery is actually either looking away and not intervening, or not doing anything, not doing anything in order to help the majority community or whichever group is in strength in that particular area, right? So the state power tacitly bolte hai na, without directly intervening. By not intervening, you are actually helping the oppressor, right? Third problem area, when demands of one religious group are formed in opposition to the other, and it is linked to the first one, what I explained, that one religious group, for instance, I have done documentaries from Mangaluru in coastal Karnataka, which is a communal hotspot. You have, from the Muslim side, you have the Popular Front of India, which is very active now. Of course, it has been banned from Kerala till coastal Karnataka. You have organizations like the SDPI, which is the electoral arm of the Popular Front of India. You have the Hindu groups like the Bajrang Dal, the Vishwa Hindu Parishad, and I think the Hindu Wahini. There are these kind of splinter groups which kind of make it, like during Hanuman Jayanti, it becomes a big show that you need to kind of showcase the macho side of Hinduism, right? Similarly, during Muslim festivals, they also take out processions to kind of establish the macho side of Islam. So both sides are actually trying to create demands and create an environment, create an atmosphere of fear and hatred for one another, and make it in opposition to the other. I hope these problem areas are now clear. We will be doing separate videos closer to your examination when we deal with questions and answers, in which I will talk about specific question and answers and what are the points that you should write for each one of those questions, right? At that time, it will be more clear. Now the attempt is to make the basic concepts very clear. If your concepts are clear, trust me, nothing will be difficult. Okay. Let's now come to communal politics. Communal politics is what you call in Hindi Sampradayak Rajniti, right? Uh, so you actually are creating on the basis of community politics. So it's based on the idea that religion is the principal basis of social community. That people should be divided based on their religion. Divided means, this is my Hindu identity, this is my Christian identity, this is my Sikh identity, this is my Buddhist identity, this is my Muslim identity. And this believes communal politics, those who practice communal politics believe that people who follow different religions cannot belong to the same social community. It basically tries to say that a Hindu and a Muslim cannot belong to the same community. A Hindu and a Muslim cannot be business partners. Hindu and a Muslim cannot be colleagues. Hindu and Muslims cannot be friends. It comes down to that very base thought. So what it's trying to say is that the interests of different religions, interest of Hindu religion is different from the interest of the Muslim religion, and they are different and will involve a conflict. That since it is against each other, it will involve a conflict. If I want something, it may be something which you may not approve of. People of different religions cannot live as equal. That's another point that communal politics, people who practice communal politics believe in. All this is not at all desirable, but this is what people who practice communal politics believe in, that people of different religions cannot live as equal citizens in one country, and that one has to dominate. That one community has to be the dominant community over the other, and the other one has to listen to the majority community in order to live and coexist peacefully. So what it does is to reduce the minority community to second-class citizens. And that is what is the major tragedy that is happening now, that many people in the Muslim community feel that they need to fear. Like what happened in Delhi after Indira Gandhi's assassination in November 1984, October 31, she was assassinated, when Sikhs were targeted. So Sikhs were made to feel that they have to pay for the act of two security guards of Indira Gandhi who were Sikh bodyguards who shot at her and killed her. So the entire Sikh community in Delhi in particular had to pay for that. How fair is that? Because people in the Hindu community and many members of the then Congress party believe that people have to be taught a lesson. So you do what? You do this thing that, hum isko sabak sikha ke rahenge. That whole pride and arrogance of numerical superiority, that you will want to do this and kill people, make families orphaned, children orphaned, leave people homeless. I mean, this is the worst part of whatever can happen, right? Or what happened in Gujarat in 2002. And it has happened in numerous states and cities across the country, and it's all extremely tragic. So communal politics, if we have to talk about it, it's a terribly bad and a flawed concept, because what it does is to silence different voices within every community. Are you trying to tell me that every Hindu is a communal minded person? No, he or she is not. There will be many Hindus who would want to coexist peacefully. Our favorite actor is Shah Rukh Khan, a Muslim. Our favorite music director is A.R. Rahman, a Hindu converted to Muslim, right? We have players like Mohammad Shami, Mohammad Siraj, earlier Irfan Pathan, Yusuf Pathan, Zahir Khan, all of them Muslims, right? We had Mansoor Ali Khan Patodi, a Muslim leading the country. We had Muhammad Azharuddin, a Muslim leading the country. So how does it matter? Your cricketing talent matters. Your creative talent matters in the film industry, right? So what it does is to tar everyone with the same brush, and that is again something extremely negative, because all voices have a right to be heard in this country. Now let's come to the linkage between communalism and politics. What kind of forms does communalism take when it comes to politics? Religious prejudices. Prejudice means that you hate each other, that I am prejudiced against you, that I have a certain dislike for you, I have a certain hatred, I have a certain animosity towards you, right? There could be stereotypes that, we say, members of all this community is sab aise hi hai. I don't want to take specific terms, right? I don't want to kind of do that kind of thing in a education video, but you tar everyone with the same brush. You say that members of this community are all like that, which is so very unfair. And you also believe in the superiority of one religion over another. What I just spoke about, that you believe that my religion is very, very superior to your religion. You also pray to your God. I also pray to my God. Let's do it peacefully within home. Why to take it into the domain of politics? And that's again extremely unfortunate, and it vitiates the entire atmosphere, right? So within communal politics, the communal mind, a person who is communally minded, someone who has a communal mindset, he will seek the political domination of one's religious community. कि मैं इस धर्म का हूं, मेरा धर्म सुपीरियर होना चाहिए, इसको राजनीतिक डोमिनेशन होना चाहिए. That my religion should be politically more dominant, that it should also hold political power so that I can teach the other community a lesson, a befitting lesson. Majoritarian dominance, that I am in numerical superiority in this area, in this town, in this city. So in this city, I will teach the minorities a lesson that they will remember for the rest of their life. And what could happen in riots? You could set their shops on fire, you could set their houses on fire, you could kill them, you could maim them, you could injure them. All kinds of atrocities can happen. What gives us the right to do that to another human being? So what has happened as a result over the years is that the minorities, they desire a separate political unit. Like, for instance, you have a party like the AIMIM, which is headed by Asaduddin Owaisi, the MP from Hyderabad. You have the Muslim League, which is active in Kerala. Why do Muslims need a separate party, right? Or there would be parties which would again talk about a particular region. You have a lot of Hindu-dominated parties also, because they believe that they will cater to the interests of a particular party. They will also cry victimhood. And again, I don't want to get into too much of politics, because I know so many of the inside stories of how many of these politicians and political parties actually operate. But they essentially try to play on the fears of their community. कि हम नहीं होंगे तो तुम खतरे में होगे, तुमको protection की जरूरत है, you need protection, so you need to vote for us. That's how many of these political parties actually survive and thrive, right? So they are playing on your insecurities, they are playing on the fears of the community, that we are necessary in order to ensure that you remain safe so that you can prosper, right? That is what is the religious, the communal identity of many of these parties, the minorities desiring separate political unit. Let's now move. I hope I'm making myself very clear in the way I'm explaining. Political mobilization on religious lines, right? How does that happen? How does political mobilization happen? Many years ago, if you go back and speak to your grandfather, etc., you would find that festivals like Hanuman Jayanti were a very minor affair. Sri Ram Navami, of course, was celebrated. Hanuman Jayanti was not something which was celebrated big. At least I can talk about my city, Hyderabad. But recently, over the last decade or so, you see, Hanuman Jayanti is a big festival, and it becomes a show of machoism. Similarly, many of the Muslim festivals again become a show of machoism and political strength. So use of sacred symbols, the Trishul or any of the other symbols, religious leaders making an entry, right? Being very prominent, okay, out there. There is emotional appeal, the kind that I mentioned, that aapka dharam khatre mein hai, and as a result, you are also in danger. There is a sense of fear. There is a sense of victimhood that I talk about. We write about that in our political columns. to bring followers of one religion together in the political arena. Agar aap is dharm ke hain, so it's your duty to support me in the election, in politics. So it becomes you are connecting to each other not through friendship, not through any kind of occupation, not through any kind of professional relationship, but through religion. I belong to this religion, you belong to this religion, so it is your job, it is your dharma to support me in politics. So votes in the name of religion. Though the constitution does not really permit that, but that's precisely what has happened largely. That in the name of religion, votes are harvested. I use the word harvested. Then you have things like communal politics. In communal politics, it takes the form of communal violence, riots, massacre. I spoke about 1984 partition riots, which was among the worst of the riots where Hindus and Muslims were killed. There have been many communal riots in independent India, even though India chose to be a secular state. What is a secular state? That we respect every religion. India as a nation does not have a religion. We respect each and every religion. Okay, there is no official religion of India. This is important. Please remember, India does not have an official religion, unlike Pakistan, which is an Islamic republic. And there the Hindus are discriminated against who are in a minority. Sri Lanka is a Buddhist nation, right? The constitution does not give in India special status to any religion. Anyone is free to practice any and propagate any religion that he or she wants to. Or if I say I'm an atheist, I do not follow any religion, even that's perfectly all right. It's entirely up to the individual, right? Now, the constitution says very clearly that you cannot discriminate against someone on grounds of religion, right? Though the unfortunate reality is that it does happen. It does happen. There are companies which say that we do not employ people from a particular religion, a particular area, right? So that kind of thing happens. I remember reporting from Bhatkal in coastal Karnataka. Now, Bhatkal is a place where many of these terrorists have come from, right? And that became a bit of, a huge scar on the people. So if some youth is trying to come out of Bhatkal and go, say, to Bengaluru or Hyderabad or Mumbai for a job, the moment you say from Bhatkal, the immediate association is to the entire group of terrorists out there, right? So that becomes a major problem, right? So, but the constitution prohibits discrimination on grounds of religion or any other ground, right? But the constitution allows the state to say that, there should be equality within all kinds of religious communities, right? To kind of make corrections in any religion. For instance, untouchability was banned, right? I talked to you about the triple talaq, right? So any kind of, jo Hindi mein bolte hain na, trutiyan, any kind of irritants, any kind of negative aspects are there in any religion, that can be removed by the intervention of the state government, right? The government of the state. Communalism, and this is something which you young Indians should definitely know, imbibe, and believe in. Communalism is a threat to the idea of India, not just to, a government, a party, a community. No, our India can actually, suffer. The idea of India as a nation can suffer because of this communal kind of mindset. Communal propaganda, communal prejudice needs to be combated. It needs to be fought. It needs to be called out, because religion-based mobilization needs to be countered in the arena of politics. That you can't have that kind of a thing. You can't have a system where on the basis of religion, people of a great country are divided. I hope I managed to make it all very clear to all of you. I feel very passionate about this subject, so that's why I get a little carried away. But I hope I managed to make it absolutely clear to all of you. Any doubts, please feel free to ask. As I said, we will do the question and answers closer to your examination so that you will find it easier to attempt the question and answers. I'll tell you exactly how to write it in point format in the examination. So now in part 3, we will look at caste, which is yet another. I have done full documentaries on caste. Okay, so I know a lot about this subject. So you meet me when we discuss about caste in video number 3 of this particular chapter. Tata, bye-bye.